how did you hear about LoanSense? Like what brought you to us?
It came like almost as if it was an answered prayer. Our company had a lot of times they'll do our product development came
Mhm.
and announced that they were rolling out the LoanSense partnership and training. So I participated in that, and what's LoanSense, and then they sent out this email talking about student loans, and of course, immediately my interest was piqued because I literally had just gotten mine paid off earlier this year, and
Mhm.
I thought student loans. I thought, oh wow, and I thought that's amazing. I was like, this is going to make so many people it's going to make a huge difference. And I mean, I just couldn't wait to learn more about it. So I immediately registered, signed up for the training, and then when I heard about when I got through the training, I was like, oh my gosh, these people are willing to do all the heavy lifting and be a resource and a tremendous resource to not just tell people you can do this or you can go there. You're
Mhm.
going to literally help. You're more than a facilitator. You're going to actually take action for the consumer and partner and cooperate with that consumer to get them from step A to B. And that's more than what a lot of people or a lot of other companies offer. They kind of, like you said, the consumer's left with, now what do I do? That's what was so wonderful about it. And I just think, wow, it's really about time. I'm so excited about what it's going to mean for so many people.
Because I think it's so important that mortgage advisors, you all are the financial advisor to the average person, right? So I think it's really cool what you're doing. So love for you to share a little bit about your work outside of just being a mortgage loan officer.
Yeah, the being a mortgage loan officer, we're obviously helping people to make one of the biggest choices, if not the biggest choice, of purchasing a home. And part of what I've learned on my personal journey of being a loan officer is, seeing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of credit reports. The vast majority of the people, probably at least between 50 to 60% of those customers that we've been serving, have a lot of student loans. And so I began to be more solutions oriented and realizing how much debt people are carrying, and that is a large part of what they're carrying for long periods of time and a long part of their life. And I became more interested in how to eliminate debt. So part of what I do as a mortgage loan officer is kind of prepare new home buyers on how to tackle their debt first or get that under control with providing solutions, good solutions that can help them eliminate their debt pretty quickly, and then help them qualify for the type of house that they like to get or can get and work within their means and just give them part of their dream, help them accomplish that goal. And it's like a puzzle to me. I like, doing puzzles. And so the financial puzzle is finding the right pieces to fit together. And that's kind of what I love to do. And it's kind of a lot of fun. And I get to have that added value given to them besides just helping them get financing for their home.
Yeah.
It really started with a personal journey. I've been on the hunt for many years for finding the right kind of company that could maybe refinance my personal student loans, which I thought I was never going to get rid of. And I found a company that did it. I found it online. They were able to offer me a lower rate, so I refinanced my student loan. And within a couple of years, I was able to, by virtue of just personal research, once again, on the YouTube. So thank goodness for YouTube too, because there's lots of wonderful solutions, right? I discovered somebody that taught how to use leveraging to eliminate. So I was able to eliminate one of the largest debts that I'd carried in my overall financial house with using, debt in the right way, or, a debt tool, an efficient debt tool. And I knew that part of what I wanted to do was help single women, divorced women, working mothers, people who have been burdened by debt, any kind of debt, really, the worst kind of debt, the bad debt, the liabilities, and help them. So I began to just talk to people one-on-one, people from my yoga studio, women that I knew from working with them in the past, just women that I knew that were single moms who were struggling with money. They had more month than money. And it just I started just talking to people one-on-one and saying, hey, I did this. Here's what I did. Let me help you with your plan. And so it really started as a personal ministry. It became a ministry, and it's grown. I have people that I talk to in San Antonio. I held a financial intelligence meeting where I had a credit specialist come in, and we did like a two-parter. And so I just host little meetings here locally or Zoom calls, and I get together with different people and we work through their numbers.
That's amazing. Yeah. So just to specify what LoanSense does that's slightly different than refinance, because we get that all the time, like, are you refinancing people's student loans? What we do, the number one solution we provide, is we help people access, like Biden just funded extra $50 billion into different special targeted relief programs, into expanded relief. Of course, some of it's based on income, or some of it's based on your employer type, like if you're a public servant. But the income-driven plans do not require a person to be a public servant. And he just is rolling out in 2023 a new form of relief that will actually lower people's monthly payment even more and qualify what isn't being paid for year-over-year discharge of their balance. So that's a pretty big news item. And of course, people can navigate the system themselves, but what we do that's a little special is we work with loan officers to not just enroll them, but get the consumer, but get the documentation for the loan officer, for the underwriting team, so that within a 21-day period, the underwriting team can now help this person originate, the person or the borrowers originate their mortgage based on a lower student loan payment. So we work hand in hand with the mortgage finance process to not just correct and right size people's student loans, but enable them to now be able to actually buy a home and not just be told, hey, you pay down your debt and come back later, and then they're just lost and confused about what the action they should be taking, right? But I'm excited. I know Prime Lending released a bunch of social media assets to help you all, So,
and I actually did send one of the young ladies I was mentoring. She was 23 when I met her. She's now 24, and she carries a pretty large student debt. So immediately I reached out to her, and I got Bruce to send me the links and everything like that. And I said, please go on to their website. I have a great solution for your student loan that you're working with. I know that these people can help you. This was one of the things in my coaching sessions with her about different things, managing, putting her financial house in order. And we addressed the student loan and how heavy a weight that was on her, so much so that she basically has to live at home with mom and dad because it's that big of a payment. And I know she's going to get the help she needs, but I immediately have already referred her to you guys and sent the link. And I plan on doing that way more frequently. And I will follow up and say, one of the things that I said to her is, please text me as soon as you make contact and start your process with them. It's well worth it. I promise you, this is going to help you even more, and to help you achieve some of your financial goals. And one of those things down the road is going to be a home ownership, and what better way than to have, this. It's like, it was as if she was at the bottom of the mountain looking up and thinking, I'm never going to be able to climb that mountain, right? And I said, I know you're at the bottom of the mountain right now. This is what I told her last year before any of this even ever happened. I said, but a solution will come. I will keep working with you. We'll keep working on the smaller things. Don't worry about the mountain right now. The solution will come. So that's one of the reasons why I was so excited. I thought, this could be it. This could be the answer that she was looking for. And so this is very timely. This is, how can LoanSense help prime lending loan officers, promote this or get the word out, the solutions to our borrowers? What's the most effective way we can reach our borrowers or even our previous customers who, still have their student loans after their loans closed and funded? Like, how can we?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have to give a plug. I have to thank prime lending marketing team because they've done an incredible job at creating co-branded assets. So the first step I like to say is, now with this market, with the interest rate rise, it's a prime opportunity for loan officers to start building their content and building their reach to customers, regardless of whether they're ready to buy now or if they want to buy now because of the interest rate market. But at least, continue to engage, build content, become exactly what you're doing, right? Become an advisor, an educator to people, right? And I say I trust my 5th grade teacher very dearly. If she became a mortgage lender, I would lend from her. I would take out a mortgage from her, right? Because it's about trust. It's about a person who teaches you is a person you trust, right? And so I commend you for your work. So number one, I think it's really important to touch base. If you have a database or know people you have worked with student debt, you can reach out to them and say, hey, look, before we get kicked into repayment, or student loan borrowers get kicked into repayment in January, you should make sure, number one, is your payment affordable? Can you afford it? So that you don't get in trouble, because we've been on payment pause for so long here. 90% plus of all student loan borrowers have not had to make a student loan payment since March of 2020. So can you afford your payment? Are you ready to get kicked back into repayment, right? Reach out to your old database, old customers, engage in conversation with them. If they are not, or if they don't know, they can always get a completely free analysis through LoanSense as well, and we'll support you in doing that, of course, so that they can understand, can they afford it? What can they get their payment reduced and qualify for any of these special Biden funded programs, right? That's number one. Go back to your old customers, have a conversation. Number two, start generating content to educate the market. Use the prime lending co-branded social media assets to speak to consumers. And then lastly, we here at LoanSense have a ton of direct consumer content that we allowed Prime to take some of it in co-brand, but we even have direct to consumer webinar content that we have filmed, so you know how to deliver it if you want to watch the film version that we record. Various versions we've recorded, or we can also share slides. You can take them and make them your own. You can change the title, put your name, things like that, and use them to build educational webinars. And a big one is can I afford a mortgage even with student loans? Or what is debt to income? What is debt to income? How do I qualify for a mortgage? The basics is what is debt to income? How do I understand if I can qualify with my current debt to income? What is it, right? I recommend loan officers who have a ton of success with the education side put on once a month or twice every month webinars with specific content. If you put on a webinar once a month, you can even have different speakers, right? Or you could focus on different topics every month and invite your audience you're building, right? And tell them to not be selfish with free information, to share it. And that's how you build your network of people that you can be speaking to, right? I know loan officers really rely on real estate partners. So it's really helpful if your real estate partners know you put on a once a month or twice a month webinar, and you tell them, hey, this is what my monthly topic is this month. If you meet borrowers who this is their situation, invite them to my webinar, So it's you're adding an extra value to your real estate agent partners, and they can invite their customers too. And if I know you and you've helped me with my budget or various other debt management items, and I know you're putting on a webinar that's relevant to me, and I know it's relevant to my sister, I'll invite my sister, Right. So I think it's a great way to build a community around information that needs to get out there, and to authentically build a relationship with somebody so that you become you really can become their lender for life. Like this idea that we produce weekly consumer content as well, that we email out and we put it on YouTube across multiple channels, share it, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of loan officers who will take our content and just repost it. You know, they don't even have to do the work of the knowledge, just repost our content. And
yes,
that's a great way to also get information out in front of people that follow you, you know?
Well, one of the things you hit on, and I'd like to highlight is, you know, prime lending, the culture that we have in this company is so incredible because it's based on relationships, even internally. The internal relationships that we build with other departments is part of the reason why we have the synergy that we do and why we can stay in these tough markets. We have lasting power because we're relational. When we are, and Joel is really great at this, my branch manager, Joel Richardson, you know, he does have repeat customers time and time again. I've been with him for a little over 5 years. I just had my 5-year anniversary last month. And I will tell you, thank you. I will tell you that since I've been with him, we've done loan after loan after loan for many different customers. So it's because they trust. It's just like you were saying, the ones that teach you, because he does give, it's like he gives them little tutorials as he helps them grow their investment portfolio, or as they come back and refinance with us, or they want to buy another property. It's those little educational pieces, the little things that they learn from him and from myself. It's that added value. We're not just a transaction to them. They, you know, we know things about their family and just things that build a relationship over time. And the same is true for a relationship with the realtors and, you know, wanting to help their customers. And that way they feel safe with us. They know they can trust us. This is their proprietary information. We've got to be protective of that. But they also rely on us for being knowledgeable and helpful where it comes to their money, because we all work hard for it day in and day out. And we want to respect and protect that alongside with them and become a trusted partner. So it is about building a relationship, and it isn't a transaction for us. At least it isn't for me, and for many of the people that work at Prime Lending. This is how we approach every customer. We get to know them, we build rapport with them, and we learn, you know, how can I help them? How can I help them in the entire scope of not just helping them with this purchase transaction or with this refinance transaction? What are some of the things that they didn't know that they might need to know in going forward, especially with the younger buyers? I love helping first-time home buyers. I love coaching them and teaching them and what to get prepared for. And I always reassure them, don't worry, I'm going to be here. I'm going to hold your hand. If you have any questions, you come back to me and you ask me. We make ourselves available to them. And yes, that costs time and it costs effort sometimes. Wow, you're an amazing young woman, and I really appreciate you being a part of this whole solution for millions of people that have, there's hope. I mean, it literally, a student loan debt can make you feel like a little hopeless. I think that was my experience, just being under the weight of it for year after year after year. And this is like a major breakthrough. And, I just think it's a major breakthrough.
I was talking to you this before we hit record too. It's a psychological, even if like there's 17 million student loan borrowers who are renting right now, who are in the primary purchase demographic. And there's this psychological barrier and belief that because I have debt, I can't afford to do anything besides pay my debt. Mm-hmm. And I can't buy until I pay this debt. And the thing is it's not even true necessarily. It's just this psychological barrier. So the more we educate the market, the more, it's not just about helping people who come in today. It's also about getting the word out too, right? Because there's so many people who aren't coming in to the pipeline or into even inquire because there's that psychological blocker. So the more information we could put out that even current borrowers can share, is really helpful. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.